Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is the 3rd of April, 2024. This is Gianni DePocia, your host, and it's time to review what's been going on in the financial markets in conjunction with the geocosmic situation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. We just started the second quarter this week, and on the very first day of the second quarter, Mercury, the trickster, went retrograde, and we started off this week in this new quarter on the defensive in the stock market. We saw a secondary lower high form in the Dow Jones, and prices sold off on Monday and Tuesday. A little bit of a rebound so far here today on Wednesday, but is this the initial trick being played by Mercury retrograde, kind of scaring bulls into the possibility of a sell-off this quarter, or was just this, the first leg down into another leg lower, which ultimately turns into, a fake out move to the downside and a rebound higher. So that's something to keep an eye on in stocks as they are overbought. It's still very much a bull trend, but some confusion here with respect to some cycle labelings that are rendering a bit of stocks a bit cautious here, so to speak. Now, today we do have Venus forming a conjunction to Neptune, so I'm going to talk about that as it pertains to currency markets and the energy market. But let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ, which has been underperforming for a couple of weeks now, but a nice rebound here today. So this is a good sign considering that tech is the biggest sector in the market. And, going into Jupiter conjunct Uranus, if we are consolidating, building another base near the all-time highs here, look for another breakout higher in technology. Again, Uranus rules tech, Jupiter rules growth. I mean, it's been on a torrid bull run already, but it may not be over. I don't think that we have to be concerned about an economic slowdown until we get closer to Jupiter square Saturn. But, the big news is that in the bond market, let's go ahead and take a look at TLT, the long-term treasury ETF here, has been selling off. We did take out and make a new low as markets are seemingly repricing in the risk of inflation. And I think this has a lot to do with Venus conjunct Neptune, because there's a bit of confusion on that front. And, later this week, we have Venus ingressing into the sign of Aries. And then next Monday, we have the solar eclipse that many have been talking about. And then we have Mars conjunct Saturn next Wednesday as well. So I'm not sure if bonds are discounting a return of inflation due to geopolitical tensions or simply just, energy rallying. USO, the crude oil ETF, rallying to a new multi-month high today. This is a major headwind for the Federal Reserve with respect to their intention to cut rates this year. Remember, coming into 2024, the market was looking for up to 7 rate cuts. Now we're only looking at 3. And I think the more that energy rallies, the more difficult it's going to be for the Fed to justify rate cuts. Now, I think this ties into the Jupiter square Saturn later this year. You have that tension between the two planets, Jupiter representing expansion, Saturn representing contraction. The Fed wants to cut and expand, but the economic conditions are forcing them to remain, hawkish and not so accommodative through Saturn. So that's going to be a big theme, I think. And, keep in mind that when Jupiter and Saturn have their third square aspect in 2025, they're going to be in different signs. And Jupiter is going to be in the sign of Cancer, which rules real estate. So if you go ahead and take a look what's happening, actually, I'm going to look at home builders here. We had a big sell-off to start the week in the home building sector, a little bit of a rebound today. So it might have been an exaggeration, but you do have what could be considered as an island reversal here. So that's something to be very mindful of, because I think the risk of rates going up into the summer is pretty elevated. Now, big moves also being seen in the precious metals market, gold rallying to a new all-time high today in alignment with our expectations, and even silver really starting to explode to the upside. This is something we've been all over on the daily report and the weekly and monthly reports. Silver doing exactly what we want it to do, and it's looking very good. Silver rallied. It took out its high from 2023 today, which is a really, with respect to the bullish trend. And I'm looking at silver potentially rallying as high as $35 per ounce this year. And perhaps, Venus conjunct Neptune has a part of that, but even, Jupiter conjunct Uranus, that could be bullish for metals as well. So something to keep an eye on in the coming weeks here. And of course, we have to talk about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of embarked on a consolidation here, not ruling out the possibility of a drop into Jupiter conjunct Uranus, but overall, this is still very much bullish price action and should be treated as such. In other words, the strategy should be to buy the dips here on any decline. We haven't really had a meaningful dip yet. It could have been here in March, although I'd like to see that low taken out a little bit to the downside. And then, in other words, back up the truck on the long side. And the timing for a low close to Jupiter conjunct Uranus, that is, would be very ideal. So we're going to continue to monitor that because if Bitcoin drops into the low to mid $50,000 area, I think it's going to provide a fantastic opportunity and a fantastic bargain for bulls in the cryptocurrency space. The last thing I want to talk about is currencies, because you're seeing a big bid in the euro today, and the dollar holding its ground against the Japanese yen, but losing out against the euro. The euro could have completed a primary cycle low again. Venus conjunct Neptune, Venus changing signs on the 5th of April. This could be a low of significance, or we could simply reverse. This could be a Mercury retrograde fake out, especially considering once Venus joins retrograding Mercury in Aries, you could see a little bit of confusion and potentially even some more volatility in currencies between Venus in the sign of Aries and Mercury being retrograde in that sign. But go ahead and take a look at the dollar against the Japanese yen. Continues to consolidate near its multi-decade highs. This is where the Bank of Japan had to step in last year and defend the value of the yen. And Jupiter conjunct Uranus is making a really interesting, powerful aspect of the Bank of Japan natal chart, going to be opposing the North Node, which is posited in the sign of Scorpio for the Bank of Japan. So some issues in the debt front. Seems like a fated encounter with destiny when it comes to monetary policy and debt, right? Because the Bank of Japan never got rid of their negative interest rate program. And there's been some rumors circulating lately that they may do so. And I'm wondering if the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, which rules currencies as well, will be the catalyst for the BOJ to finally abandon their unconventional monetary policy. So that's all that I wanted to review with you today. So thank you again, everyone, for watching. Please subscribe to our channel and check out all of our work at www.mmacycles.com. We do have the monthly cycles report set to be published on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Of course, we have the MMA annual webinar set to take place on the 18th of May. That's going to be on a Saturday. And as I discussed with Ray last week, we will be having our investment retreat at Lake Bled in Slovenia between the 19th and 22nd of September later this year. So all details can be found at www.mmacycles.com. So that's all for now, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.